time. Here we are, everybody. Right after I believe the equinox was yesterday, the spring equinox, which is March 20th. I always thought it was the 21st for some reason, but anyhow, I believe it was yesterday. So happy equinox to everybody. May your everything be abundant this year, especially this time of year when we start planting and getting ready to grow veggies. I can't wait. We're gonna have some good stuff. So let's see here. I got that on mute. This is, here we go. All right. It's almost catching up. We'll give it a few minutes, let some folks come on in. There's going to be some folks coming in. I know, chatted a little bit earlier. It's been kind of a getting ready for spring couple weeks. Last week I just got busy doing stuff and honestly didn't have time to sit down for an hour and chat with you guys, which I wish I did, because it would have been cool. But anyhow, this week we got a couple of things that have been happening. Getting ready next week, we're going to be broadcasting from San Antonio, actually Lake Hills, but we'll be at Joe's house, and we're going to do our weekly chat from there. We'll have probably a lot more interesting things to talk about. I'm holding back on a couple of items on account of, well, it's easier when we have certain questions to have Joe answer them. Hello, Sheila. Welcome in. Just getting ready for folks to come on in, and we'll chat a little bit. So, we had spent some time winterizing our yard. Now we are de-winterizing, and we've got to rake and hack and whack and burn stuff. We can still burn up here. Certain times of year you can burn, depending on the fire danger. Right now it's really low, so we'll be doing some of that stuff pretty soon. I'm looking forward to it. Just getting ready for spring. I'm so excited about warm weather and being able to go down to the river or go to the lake and jump in. Water is one of my favorite things to do. Let's see here. I got my notes in front of me. Got a few things that I had highlighted in the visits that I wanted to bring up. I'll bring those up in a few minutes. See how things will go. And looks like Deb's here. Hi, Deb. Nice to see you, hon. All right. Oh, I got to remember to enunciate so that you guys can hear me on your cell phone if you don't have speakers on your phone. Some folks with speakers on their computer can hear me just fine, and other folks with just a handheld phone have difficulties hearing me. So I'm going to be conscious about enunciating my words. I'm not yelling at you. What's that?
And speaking up.
And speaking up, as my wife would say. Talk so I can hear you. Hi, Dave, Sheila, and Carol. That's Deb Maslow. Cool. Anyhow, we're digging into stuff. I can't wait to be getting into one of these particular sheds I have out in the yard that's been covered with snow for a few weeks. It's got some of my old teachings and stuff like that we had over the years. And in my wanderings, I ran across this book, which is a workbook that I had made. Hi, Maria. It's a workbook I had made at the last Love, Life, and Light conference. And cruising through here, it was a spiritual dynamics program. But cruising through here, I actually found some pictures of a picture of a past event that we had gone to, and this is a picture of Brian in the middle of a bunch of people. We used to set together light teams and stuff. Thought that was really interesting and worth bringing up tonight. When you guys get together, you can focus your energy through each other and concentrate on one person by, you know, just sending in a row. It seems to work pretty well. There's quite a bit in this book that Alexander left to his students. It was the basically the totality of his teachings for the last 20 years. So I'll be dabbling into that a little bit more. When I get more familiar with it, I'll bring it up to you guys and tell some more about it. There's some processes in here that we've actually done as a group in this group. So at the events and whatnot. And that's why I felt that finding that book was an important thing to do because of the processes that are in it. I've talked to Joe a few times this week. Haven't really mentioned much about registration. We were in the 70s mark, which is good for this time of year. Generally, when we have around 70 people at this time of year, we will hit over 200, hopefully by June. So the more the merrier. And I'd like to welcome Cindy and who else was that? Cindy and Eliona came in. Hi, Eliona. So, Dave, you took Alexander's classes. Yes, I actually I went to his last Love, Life, and Light. Deb Maslow's asking, so Dave, you took Alexander's classes. I've actually been a privy to some of his work. My dad got involved in some of his stuff when I was a wee lad. So I was exposed to his work at an early age. So when I was in my 20s and I was reintroduced to him, it was more of a familiar thing for me. And yes, I was able to learn from him quite a bit and spend some time with him one-on-one as well. I was quite fortunate to have some time with him. He had come to attend some of Joe's workshops with Joe to see what he was doing, and I got to spend a lot of time with him. And towards the end of his life there, for me, that was a lot of time. And I was fortunate enough to go to the last Love, Life, and Light conference it was up near Eugene, in this, the McMillan Brothers hotel. It was an old Mason retirement home that they had turned into a hotel. And they had they still have it. They have themed rooms. Anyhow, I stayed in a bunk room, which was cool, but they had a really awesome layout, and a brewery downstairs, a big auditorium with a stage, and that's where we had our thing for, I believe it was 6 days of intense, like morning till afternoon, and you didn't speak until noon, till lunchtime. At Alexander's teachings, you were silent from the morning until lunchtime. You didn't speak. And after lunch, you could start speaking again. So, anyhow, that's where we got that particular exercise for the events, and it does train the mind to do things. You communicate with each other much differently when you do that stuff. So, anyhow, lots and lots of cool stuff learned from Alexander, and I just really thank my lucky stars I got to be able to be involved in any of it. All right, so like the thing said, it was Q&A and freestyle, so Cindy Parfit has a question. I was just gonna ask if anybody has any questions, and thankfully Cindy's here. What is with the huge energy shift happening now? It's even stronger than previous years. Well, last year, if you remember, there was a bit of a shift. Marlene Sams, hi sweetheart. Last year, if you notice, there was a bit of a shift, and you can feel it. We're talking to Cindy, and because you hadn't made a commitment to the event, you didn't really feel it as much as those of us that did. Now, this year, you've made your commitment, and everything is moving in a direction to where, you're getting prepared to go to the event. So you're going to start noticing energy shifts, all kinds of stuff. Drink lots of water, meditate if you can, tune your chakras when you can. If not, just, concentrate on them being tuned. Marlene Sam says, hi, Dave. Hi, sweetheart. these next few months, next couple, we have what? 4 months? Where are we? We're in the 3rd month, so in this, yeah, 3 months to go. About 3 months to go until the grand gathering in Colorado this year in Colorado Springs, and the energy is going to be a lot different. Okay, and I'm glad that you brought that up. The energy shift. It says Haniel was talking to Joe one year back in 2006, and that very question came up, you know, about the energy shifts and stuff. Anyhow, as each passing year of your time that goes by, that which you would have become more, as each passing year of your time goes by, that which you would have becomes more and more difficult. Your world will not stand by waiting for the masters to bring about the changes of Eden's return. So this is why we're getting these big, huge energy things before the event. It becomes more difficult for us to go through these. Now, the more the masters start understanding what's going on and their importance, the importance of them being there at ground zero, if they knew right now, we wouldn't have a big enough place. But we really do have something that is going to change your lives personally this year for sure. And if we reach a number or a higher number, we will definitely have a shift that is noticeable throughout the land, which is the world. So, you know, we really do deserve a bit of a shift at this time. And, you know, even the people that are having a hard time, the ones that are causing us to have these ill feelings towards other people and stuff, they're having just as bad as a time, you know. I mean, they have to keep up with whatever it is they're keeping up with just as well. As both sides are doing this battle thing that's just not going to be good for anybody. Everybody's wearing each other out. It's not going to get anywhere. So the masters can do something about this, and the solution this year is in Colorado Springs. Now, whether you choose to understand it or not, or believe it or not, that's where it's at. You guys got involved in this thing, and I know a lot of people are making every effort to get there. We've had more sign-ups now than we have in the past. So, Shelby's here. Hey, Shelby. We're getting more sign-ups at this time of year than we have in the past. So, we're doing better on that. So, as much as you can promote this and share this, you know, we've shared Joe has his original book on Blessings, Gifts, and Deeds on beatpeace.net for free. Anybody can download it. It's a PDF. You can print it if you want to. You can, you know, don't sell it, obviously, but you can print it if you need to. You can put it on a big tablet and read it. It's real easy to read. It's got 3 more chapters, and it explains a lot, and it will help people understand it differently now, and it'll make your job a lot easier. So, anyhow, and as far as energy shifts go, drink lots of water, and eat good food, and get rest, and meditate if you really do your best to learn how to meditate. If you have the tuning forks, tune your chakras. If you have the oils, use your oils. They're very beneficial, and they help us with things. So, anywho, like I was saying before, we've got 3 short months before we go to Colorado Springs yet again. This one's going to be a much different ride than it's ever been before. We've never had the angels stand with us in formation and then come home with us. So, Cindy's saying, yes, it does make more sense. Everybody's saying their love for each other. This is awesome. I like this group when they get together. They're like, I'm going to kiss it for the first day or so. Then the last day, they're like, I'm going to kiss it and not wanting to leave. So that's what happens at the event. So if you get to go, you're going to be incorporating into a huge family that exists that just sucks you right into the hug. So anyhow, and they're really, really cool. Really, really forgiving, loving, generous beings. And that's what's going to take to have a world that works for everyone. See, that's what we're doing here at the events each year. We're moving things in such a way that it creates a world that works for everyone. No, we're not going to see immediate, right now results all the time. It takes practice for us to do these things. And what it's really going to take is a mass amount of people coming together in one spot. Not sure if it's a specific place and time or time of the year, but if we can get a lot of you guys together in one spot and see what that shift does, it's just huge. Just seeing with just 150 people or 120 people, even 222, we brought the Shekinah back. So, anyhow, Cindy feels like she's been decked. Well, that's because you've got a lot on your plate. You're gonna be fine. And like I said, drink lots of water. Absolutely. Deb Maslow says, when you go to the events, you are surrounded by so much unconditional love and light, nothing is impossible. It's the very fabric that we use to weave this thing together. And when you guys come together, the place that you stand, there's no special spot in the formation. Now, let's make this perfectly clear. It doesn't matter if there's a colored dot under your feet or a line under your feet. It doesn't matter. The best spot in that formation is in that formation. I don't know what it's going to be this year. I don't know if it's going to look like last year, because last year we did a formation to bring the two energies together. This year we're doing a daw-off thing. So, don't know what's going to be. I'm assuming he's going to get a different one. So, or we'll use the same one. Hopefully it'll be just bigger. Lee Feather just showed up. Hi, Lee. Good timing, honey. Anyhow. Everybody say hi, Lee. She's such a sweetheart. If you guys want to know stuff, that's one person that you can talk to. That lady knows stuff. She's quiet. She don't come up and start giving you stuff, but if you ask her, you'll get some cool information from that lady. Anyhow. And she can do a lot of really groovy stuff and teach you some really groovy stuff. I don't know if she wants to do the class type of thing, but one-on-one, she's really super good. So, anyhow, if you ever need her, there she is. So, and Deb too. Deb is probably one of those sleeper type people that, you know, you just don't know that she knows all this stuff until you talk to her, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow. Anyhow, a lot of the masters are like that. Over the years, you're going to learn to be a dynamic superstar in the spiritual world. You're going to be doing things that nobody else can do. The tuning forks and oils raise your body to a vibration that you can't attain in meditating for a couple of months. You got to do that. You got to train for 20, 30 years to get these skills. All you have to do is read the instructions and apply them and use them over and over and over again. And pretty soon you don't even need to read the instructions. You know what to use. As you start playing with this stuff, you start mastering it. Mastering this stuff is very easy to do. Lee does classes. Okay, I'm stand corrected. Good. Pack her classes. The lady's a genius. So, are these teachings part of the 144,000? It's part of, so that when they come together, we know what we're doing. It's helping us, okay, the teachings are helping us get out of our own way so that we can experience life to the fullest, to be abundant in all aspects of your life, okay? That's what's in store for the rest of the world. We're doing all of the work that it takes to have that happen, okay? So once 144,000 of us come together that have been doing this, you know, it doesn't have to be over the next 20 years. It could be in the next 2-3 years. We can do this a lot faster. All we have to do is gather the masters, okay? The gathering is the root of the tree. In order for this thing to grow and flourish straight up, we need to gather, okay? So each of you could do 4 gatherings. It's not important that you personally do one, but if you feel like you can do this and this is something you're up to doing, by all means, you got the support to do it. Not everybody's going to be called to gather. Not everybody's going to be all gung-ho to get, you know, 7 different people into the same spot. You know, it's not everybody's thing. And there are a lot of people that a lot of people that don't live in an area where there's a lot of people at hand. So, okay, I have been getting all kinds of similar gatherings and conferences across the U.S. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're all going to come to us and get gathered and we could do this thing. All I know is when we had other groups come in before, they had to get gathered in order to stand in the formation with us. Now, we've tried to bring other groups in before, and it's not been to our benefit. But you never know. Things change. We can change our posture on how we invite people to experience what we're teaching them. We're not here to learn what they're teaching. We can go to their classes to learn what they're teaching. But if they have a large amount of people that want to come and learn how to make a huge change on this planet in a very short period of time, we have a recipe that can do just that. It's not the end all, it's not the be all. It is a truth, a light, a way. One that works particularly well when applied. You have to apply it in order for it to work. So, anyhow, doesn't take much faith, it just takes doing it. All right, look at the previous I did. Okay. So anyhow, I'm really excited about coming up on this coming up event. I'm going to be seeing a lot of people I haven't seen in years because, you know, with the offer of having an angel come home with you or even being able to see them is going to bring people to this thing. I hope that would encourage them even more if they weren't encouraged before. This is huge. Being able to have a spiritual guide that you can call upon anytime you need them to help guide you throughout the rest of your life. I don't know about the lotto numbers or anything like that, but I know that if we are open to these things and our heart, we listen with our heart and our mind and our beingness, we can learn to communicate with these guys and start moving ourselves into a place where we're more in balance, in harmony, in tune with the world around us. Now notice the words that I chose to use in those statements. That's what the angels have been teaching us to do. We balance our chakras so we can be in harmony and in tune with the world around us. This is part of the one song that we're being invited back into the universe to sing. You see, we're the ones that are out of balance. The universe is doing just fine, but it loves and cares for its planet so much that it's going to be patient with us and give us a choice to bring it back to harmony and balance. That's where it's up to you guys. It's not up to me. I'm going to go no matter what. You know, it really doesn't. That's what I do, okay? We need everybody there. As everybody that's been gathered needs to come to this event. I'm sorry if there is a financial hardship you may be going through at the time, but I guarantee you that if you place it in your heart, some doors will be opening and shutting that don't serve you, that wouldn't be otherwise available. When you commit and enroll yourself to doing something, you do it. You know, it's like, look at smokers. You know, a cigarette person. They don't have any money whatsoever. They smoke cigarettes, but they always have cigarettes. They don't have any money because they put their mind on it. Same with drinkers. They do the same thing. Druggies do the same thing. Eaters, okay? You got to eat. You don't have money, you're going to find food, right? God, I hope you better. Anyhow, it's just an example. I'm not trying to bag on anybody. I'm just trying to use an example. I'm not trying to start a big conversation about, you know, health benefits of all these things or anything like that. It's just that when we put our minds to something, we can do things. I've seen you guys do things that I couldn't believe that I could do, and then I've done those things. So we need to place aside our fear and lack, okay? Those things are standing in our way. When the angels have told us year after year that you are abundant and you will receive everything you need to do what you need to do, then trust in those things and go get it. Manifest this thing and all will happen. I have it happening now. You know what's happening when you're manifesting? What's truly happening is you have lifted the lack that was holding you back from having that which you wanted in your life. What was truly manifested? Manifest is to lift off your chains, to break away from what's holding you back from what you truly deserve. So as you learn how to manifest or dissolve the lack in your life, things will move much faster for you. And that's what the angels have taught us over the last 24 years. They're not going to stop. They've never stopped teaching us. They're not going to admonish us. They're going to give us ways to overcome the obstacles that we place in our own path. You know, we're always placing these obstacles in our path. There's always something coming up. You know, there's an opposition teaching, or there's another thing there. If you want a world that works for everybody, and you ask for this, and the angels are showing you what you're seeing right now, and in these books that Joe has written over the years and in the visits, then you have a responsibility and you get to do something. Get out of your own way, right? Yes, Cindy is saying to get out of your own way. Absolutely. That's what this training does for you. The tuning forks, the essential oils, the mental, emotional, physical training that we go through that leads to our spiritual balance. You know, once we're in balance, all of these things, the fear and the lack, you don't worry about that stuff. I'm not worried about how I'm getting to the event or when I'm gonna be there. I'm thinking I'm going to go a few days early on account of I got to get 7 days of room, you know, because it's cheaper to rent the room for the week if you're going to have more than one person in the room. It's only $700 for the week, or it's $800 for 4 or 5 days. So I'm getting it for the week. I'm coming a little early. We're going to go see Carol's kids. We're going to go see the stuff around everything. I'm going to test out a couple of the cannabis clubs. And we're going to go to the Garden of the Gods. I don't know, before or after. I'm going to have the RV. But anyhow, I don't know how that's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. You know? I just know it's going to happen. I'm going. It's just the way it goes. So, anyhow, y'all could do this thing. And I've gone for 18 years. The first few years, I didn't know how I was going to go. Always put it in my heart and in my mind that I want to do this and I desire to do it. It's like I get there and I have the best bloody time. All the things that I need show up. Everything that I need shows up. It's just the way it works. So you're no different than me, and you can do this, and I know you can probably do it better, because a lot of you guys are a little more creative than me. I get stuck on one little thing, and it's like, there's so much more that can happen in hindsight. But like my wife was, for years, I just went to the event and came back. And when I got together with Carol, she says, hey, we're going to all these different places. Let's look around. We haven't been here before. Let's go see what's going on. So we take the time to look around and see what's going on. If you have that available, you can do that. I didn't know that I couldn't, so that's why I do. Anyhow, I'm still excited about this. It's going to be a big one, and I hope it's going to be like packed with you guys, because I really enjoy seeing everybody. You know, we have such a mix of people. It's incredible, the rainbow of people that we have that come to these events. You know, there's just so many that come to mind, and if we all just come together, we'll create this world that works for everybody, and we go off and have our own little thing for the rest of our lives, you know, and not have to worry about any of this other stuff. So it is going to be awesome, Eliana. It's going to be more than that. I can't even assume or imagine how it's going to be until we get there. Every year it's the same for me. I don't know what's going to happen when we get there, but one thing I do know is I'm going to have a really cool, extraordinary experience. Even the times when I had some rough moments and I had some rough things happen during the time, but that's part of our growth. In order for us to grow, our roughness has to get smoothed out a little bit. So we smooth all that stuff out, and by the last day, every single time, boom, something changes in my life, and my life gets easier for me. This year, manifestation, or getting out of my own way and forgetting about lack for those moments so that I can create what I really desire, That's what keeps us from doing things, is we don't think we deserve something, or we don't think we could have it, or there's not enough. There's enough. And it's like saying there's not enough water or there's not enough air. Yeah, there is. So anyhow, every year it's something new and exciting and fresh. And this one, man, they never said they were going to stand with us and then come home with us. You know, I want to know what it's like. I want to know what's going to happen. So, what do we desire is what Eliona is. She has a question mark on it. So she's asking, what do we desire? Exactly. That's exactly the question. What do you personally desire? Don't tell me. Don't tell them. Put it in your heart. Let it happen. Wrap that desire in love. And let it go. It's like, excuse me, the thing that we learned back in 2005 when we were manifesting with the Shekinah. You know, Yahid Shekinah. Let there be Shekinah. You wrap this intention. No, indeed. Intention is what you wrap. You intend, or you use willful spiritual intent to create out of nothing. You take what you desire and you wrap it in love. You give it away. You let it go. And it comes back to you. You know, I remember one time I had a stack of stuff, a stack of bills, a stack of problems, and a stack of issues going on, and I just took the I Am oil and I put it on a chair. And it had, like, you know, I put a grate over it. And I took some of the I Am oil on a coal, and I burnt the I Am oil. And it went and surrounded all the stuff, you know. And the next thing you know, all of my problems started dropping away, you know. And it was because I trusted myself to get out of my own way, to allow myself to deal with these issues as they came along. They got dealt with. They still were there. But I had a different mindset. When you allow the I Am in, you get yourself to a position to where you can do things. And this is what we do, is we encourage and give each other strength so that we can do these things. Cindy Parfit. I'm tearing up here. I see and feel the pain. Well, I get a little excitable about this, but, you know, I do have passion behind me, and I'm not doing this because I'm getting something out of it. I want you guys to get something out of it, because if we all get together over there, everybody wins. Everybody. I mean, even people that don't come. I mean, there's people that can't, you know. I mean, look at Ron. He can't come. Steve can't come to him anymore. Well, maybe they can. I guess we don't get to see them. Maybe we'll see them. These are good things. Life is a good thing, and living it is the most important part of life. So don't put yourself in a circle that you're only doing the same thing over and over. Stretch, learn, and grow. So every event, it just moves us closer to where we can be. And the longer we take to do these things, the more difficult it is going to become, unfortunately. But that was in the past. Now we have this thing that I believe Eliona was mentioning, the Da'oth. And she did. My wife just showed up. Hey, welcome into the... Oh, you're... Anyhow. All right. Hey, John. Welcome to the room. What was I going to say? The Da'oth. That is a gift that they gave us last year because we can go into this Da'oth and observe and absorb. Another thing I wanted to bring up about the Da'oth. Let's see here. I was talking to Mary Shipley earlier today. I had something for her. She used to deal with essential oils years ago, and I had some questions. She's pretty knowledgeable about this stuff. And anyhow, something came across my Funk and Wagner. Let's see if I can find it. And I believe We've come to the place I wanted to be. Okay, so she was going through, I had asked her, I called Mary Shipley up, and she answered the questions that I had, and then I got really interested in what she had to say, because, boy, she knows her oils. And she was telling me things about oils I didn't remember or know about. So, anyhow. Let's see. She was talking about going through the 50 gates and using the vibrations. Now, one of the things that can happen when you're going through the 50 gates, if you have the tuning forks, you can use the tuning forks to help you through the gate, but you can also take it a step further. Each of the gates has like a sphere that you're dealing with, and sometimes a couple of spheres that you're dealing with. You can go into the 11 spheres of the Tree of Life as long as you've been let in by a gatekeeper at the event last year, or been let in afterwards, obviously. So each of the spheres can assist you in ways that, they couldn't before. Now, first, it was knowledge on a piece of paper. Now, you can go in, you can tune yourself up, just like this, okay, and go into, let's say you're going into the Keter, okay? And this one has to do with, the will of God, okay? And it says, this sphere is known as the crown, being the will of God, or the Spirit of God. You should be cautioned that although each Sephiroth is a path to God, it is not the same as God. Okay, so there is a write-up on Angelic Gate under Tuning Forks. When you go in to buy the Tuning Forks, there's a write-up that has all of the information on the Tuning Forks there, angelicgate.com, Tuning Forks. So you can go into each of these spheres, and you don't have to just go into the Da'oth. Now, here's the difference between the Da'oth and these, okay? Now, the Da'oth, the purpose to go in there is to observe and absorb, okay? When you go into, let's say, the Keter or the Chakma or the Binah or the Chesed, you go into those, you tune in with the tuning fork and you go in, you don't have to just sit there and observe and absorb. You can actually interact with things that are going on in there. So each of these has a different genre that it works on, okay? The Keter would be the crown, or the Spirit of God, okay? The Chakma is known as wisdom. The Binah is known as understanding. The Chesed is known as mercy. The Gevurah is known as judgment. The Teferet is that of beauty. The Netzach is eternity. The Hod is known as glory. The Yesod is known as the foundation. The Malkuth is known as the kingdom. And the Da'oth is known as knowledge. I don't know if you guys remember a couple months back when I screwed that one up good. I didn't know what Da'oth meant. Duh. Anyhow, I know what it means now. So if you go and become familiar with those things that are in those spheres, you can work on those things in those spheres. How are we going to get past all of these things, okay? Where am I getting this from? Like I said, Cindy, it's on angelicgate.com. Go to the left-hand bar, click Tuning Forks. Scroll down to the Tree of Life Tuning Forks, and you'll find this information, okay? You can even buy the tuning forks there, and I'll even ship them to you. All right, so one of the questions that we constantly come up with is the cost of the event. Don't worry about it. Like I was saying with the manifestation thing, it's the law of lack. Don't worry about it. Put it in your heart and it's going to come up. One of the things that Joe always looks at to himself as what he's missing every year. You know, he says, what am I missing? What have I forgotten? He hasn't forgotten anything, and he's not missing anything. What we need is up to the masters, and it's a very simple thing that's not so simple, actually, because when we start thinking about this particular solution to the problem that a lot of us are having, not everybody's sharing the same problem, but we can all share the same solution, because this one helps with a lot of different problems. Where am I getting this from? Oh, missed that part. Okay, got it. Spiritual discipline. Okay? Something I think about often when I start getting into my head and things of that nature is, how am I showing up in the world? What am I doing? Okay? Spiritual discipline is the way one acts on their spiritual path. Many grow in spiritual knowledge, sharing it with others in words, both spoken and written. Lofty words of loving ways of being pour forth from the mouths to change the world, as if words alone are enough. It is in the actions that are taken, demonstrating their words, that change the world. It is easy to stay your path when everybody agrees with you, and with you and your words, and do not call you to service. When life lays on you its hardships and concerns, your kind may stop your journey along the path or choose an easier path. By the way, this is from Haniel telling us what spiritual discipline is. You should know that I'm going to be quoting the angels. I can't write this stuff. Okay, so many see that which is in their lives and decide that they must choose one or the other. It is in these times one must hold true to their spiritual path. Only the spiritual discipline of the soul put into action can bring a master to greatness. For the master that would let the vision of a return of Eden guide them can bring about such a world. It is spiritual discipline that takes away the choice of one or the other and gives in return that the only choice is both. More often than not, this discipline that you hold yourself to will gain more than it will cost you. Okay? And that is a path that the world could take. The children of Abraham have done this to one another time and time again. They were talking about war and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm skipping ahead. Blah, blah, blah. Here's the important part. You and the masters can choose to survive the pettiness of it all in the hopes that it will just get better, or you as masters can choose to make the world you truly desire. The choice is yours. So there. Okay. Got that out. It takes discipline. You know, the only person that can work through this with you is you. This is not something we're going to train each other in. Wow, I feel honored. Hi, Elizabeth Barron. Glad you can make it. When we move through our lives and we apply these principles of spiritual discipline that was given to us many years ago, things can change. Now, how do we use spiritual discipline? Well, it trains you in the 50 gates. It trains you in the principles of a master, and it trains you in the paths of wisdom. Excuse me. And it trains you in the paths of wisdom. How do you get through all of these things? Through the Book of Bricks. The Book of Bricks is the solution to pretty much any problem that you're going to... Excuse me. Let me reverse that. The Book of Bricks is a solution to the problems that you face in this work and in your lives. If you choose to pick up those tools and use them, they will be effective. It's very easily done. Wow. Many of you have been doing this for years and years and years. Many of you have been teaching these things for years and years and years. It's time to come together. So, you know, there's a lot of... Okay, that would be a huge thing for me. Yeah, well, things are huge. The biggest thing is we have the promise of an Eden that works for everybody and a world that we create through our blessings, gifts, and deeds. And how are we going to do this? Well, we come together every year. How do we get more people to come to the events? Do more gatherings. Get it exposed to more people. You know, that's how we do this. In order to grow this, one, we'll do gatherings. I can do more. My wife can do some. I don't know who else can do what, but do something. Looks like might be having one coming up before the event. I would like to see it happen. I put it in my heart, and looks like things might be coming together. We've had some people that have had been exposed to this and read the stuff and are participating. Might even have an opportunity to bring like 9 extra people with me this year, so we'll see what happens. Maybe more. Mary Parsons. Mary Parsons, how you doing? Glad to see you made it. Boy, I've been talking for 46 minutes already. Wow, I thought I just got on. It looks like people are coming in and going. More folks that are normally in here. Great to see all the numbers. I don't see any faces. I see a little dot when you come in, but it's not recorded or anything like that. I may be having one this summer. Ooh, cool. Cindy might have one. And Deborah is welcoming everybody back into the room, or ones that are coming into the room. So, anyhow, next week I will be in Texas, and I will be filming from live from Joe's living room. Whether or not Joe will be with me, I don't know. I think I can get him to come on with me. I'm pretty sure. He might have a couple of things to say. I got some questions for him. I'm sure you guys might have some questions for him. So next week is going to be a big week, and I'm assuming since I'm announcing that Joe's going to be involved, we'll probably have more people show up than we normally have. So that would be groovy too. We tried to have Joe come on via, you know, me letting him in on video. He couldn't figure out how to do it on his end. This week when I go see him, I'm going to go ahead and show him how to do that, if I can teach this guy how to do it. I don't know. It may not be easy for him to do. It may just be a glitch on his computer. I don't know. We'll find out when I get there. So, we'll put the camera on him. Right, yeah, that's not always the best idea to do, because you don't, yeah. Anyhow, so, he doesn't like his picture taken a lot. So, anyhow, but I think he will join us on the chat next week, because we'll be sitting on his couch under the Michael painting, which is an appropriate thing. It'll look backwards on account of when you do the FaceTime thing, it's a selfie, so, you know, words are backwards. See? It's supposed to say Jackson. Well, it says Jackson, but it's backwards, right? Anyhow, okay. So, it's backwards. Does that mean I'm left-handed? No? Okay. All right. Just put the camera on him. Okay, fun. So, next week we're going to be doing that. Now, I'm not signing off. We still got a few minutes, and a few people just... a few more people popping in, and I just want to give a chance for anybody to get any questions in that they may have, or did I miss anything? Let's scroll back. And looks like I'm all caught up. Oh, okay. We can see. All right. So somebody came in that I didn't. Oh, yeah, John, I saw you. All right. So looks like I haven't seen any kind of questions popping up. Reminders. 50 gates. If you do not have a 50 gates manual and you want to participate in your own growth and go through the 50 gates, it is not an easy trip to take. I've talked to several people that are going through it, and for the most part they're having an okay time. One person was having a little more difficulty than people that I've noticed in the past. But that's just, you know, everybody's going to go through it differently. if you can't get through a gate, if you're going through the gates right now and you get stuck on a gate, don't do it the next day. Don't do it the day after. Just pass it. Do the next gate in line, okay? So that's how that works. And be easy on yourself. And remember, drink lots of water. And if you are able to, if you have your water stars, use them. This is a water star. This is a large one. These go in your bathtub or in your water jug or in your jacuzzi. I use these in the jacuzzi. You put 3 of these in your swimming pool or 3 of them in your jacuzzi, and you won't have to use any chemicals, just a little debubbler. You'll have to clean the thing a little more often because stuff starts growing, life starts happening. But when you drink this stuff, the water that's created from this star, if you set it in or near the water, it will structure it in about 7 to 10 minutes, and it'll hit your body on a cellular level when consumed in about 5 minutes. Where to get them? AngeliCgate.com under Laminar Crystal. So, there are some things that are not available immediately I have to make, so they are noted, tells you what it is, but the stars are all available. Come and get them, kids. And then, of course, I'll have a booth at the event this year, and I'm going to be offering healings this year. I did some last year, and I think I'm going to concentrate on more this year because it was very necessary and helpful for me to keep me grounded for the weekend, too. So, I'm still looking forward to going and seeing you guys in person. Cindy says I can't do it, the 50 gates. Do what you can, and do what you can. So I know you can because others have, and it's okay if you do, and it's okay if you don't. So anyhow, Jim's home. She says, yeah, I saw him waving at me earlier. I'm not on that page right now. I was looking at visits and information about the Duff. Oh, she can't get back in. Lee's saying she can't get back in. Well, everybody loves Lee. So, anyhow, apparently she can't get in. And, what are the 50 gates? Eliona, the 50 gates, go to AngelicGate.com on the left-hand side. The 50 gates, as Gabriel said, every master, in order to reach enlightenment, must pass through the 50 gates. And this is something that Moses took the masters through when he was at Mount Sinai. Half the people went with him, and half the people went with his brother Aaron and mocked him. The ones that went with him learned a whole bunch of stuff. They went through the 50 gates of enlightenment. And they did that just before the trip on Mount Sinai, where Moses received the 7 vibrations of the Malkuth. And the thing that they left out of the Charlton Heston movie was everybody heard the first 3 vibrations of the Malkuth, or as they called them, commandments. They added 3 and adulterated the rest of it. And anyhow, the visits were happening right around 2003, where we were getting the 50 gates information. And there is a venue on AngelicGate.com that says 50 gates, and it gives you a thumbnail sketch of what it is. It's a workbook that will help you go inward deeper and become more, I would say, more present with oneself, more honest with yourself. It will help greatly in the work that we're doing. And each time that you go through the 50 gates, the more you gain. And it will help, as Michael said, it will help you on your spiritual path tremendously. It will just really help you a lot getting out of your own way. I recommend it. Not everybody can go through it, because not everybody is willing to do what it takes to get through each of those gates. Or they don't know they can. Or they don't understand it. Or. There's so many ors. Anyhow, put your oars in the water and row. All right. All right, we're coming up on 55 of the hour. And Lee is in again. I love Lee. Chat with her every once in a while. She's... kind of want to go back to Georgia just to see her, though. But I'd have to be helicoptered into just to her yard, and then I get the hell out of there. No, I'm kidding. I ain't driving my RV through there, I'll tell you that. No way. I don't know what's in the cupboards of that stuff, man. All right. Next week, we will be broadcasting live from Joe's living room. And the date will be Thursday, the 28th. The time will be 6 p.m. Actually,
29.
I take that back. No, the 28th.
What's today?
Today's the 21st. 7 and 21 is 28. Next Thursday.
Looking at it right here, and this is the 29.
Oh, that would be Friday, dear. So anyhow, on my calendar it says Thursday right there. 2019. Well, I'm going with this calendar because I know how this one says 28. You got a different... that calendar's wrong.
It must be. That's weird.
Carol got a wrong calendar.
Yeah,
Anyhow, it's last year's news, man. Last year it was the 29th on Thursday. This year it's the 28th. Each year it progresses. So, all right. Same gathering time, same gathering channel. And thank you guys for coming in. Thanks for hanging out. If you have any questions, contact me privately. Please do. I'm very approachable, and I'm here for the masters. So if you are so inclined, we do have a donation button on angelicgate.com on the front page. Need your help with websites and stuff. And then we got stuff that you need for doing some of the processes, like the tuning forks and the oils and all that groovy stuff. It's right there on the website. So, love you guys, miss you guys, hope everything's groovy with you. And as always, my blessings, my gifts, my deeds are with you. Oh, Marlene Sams, it'll be the normal time. It'll be 8 o'clock that I'll be at Joe's. So, there you go. Bless your hearts.